A lone helicopter hung high above the battlefield. A Marine general studied the terrain below him, the position of his troops, the concentration of his own fire and the enemy's. Here and there, he dropped lower to confirm what he had seen. The advantage of attacking in another sector, an advantage only a sky-high view could show. Then, from his airborne command post, he talked by radio to a brigade commander, arranged to meet him on the field and plan a new attack. This was August of 1950, the front in Korea. The 1st Marine Air Wing in Korea put helicopters to their earliest tactical use. The hovering, vertical flying newcomers to marine aviation were plunged simultaneously into a dozen different jobs, with the 1st Marine Division driving the enemy north. In each job, they proved themselves. Most of these pictures were made in Korea, some at Marine training bases in America. They'll show you vividly the many combat jobs your Marine Corps is doing today with helicopters. Marine Helicopter Development Squadron HMX-1 at the Marine Corps Base Quantico, Virginia, commenced in 1946, developing combat improvements in helicopter design and combat techniques for this new aircraft, suited exactly to the Marine Corps' great tradition of surmounting every obstacle. Rescue is one job. When bomber crews or combat pilots are obliged to ditch their planes, they are seldom able to pick a spot where rescue planes can land. Rough seas or rough terrain often make it impossible for ordinary aircraft to give more than temporary help. But from land or sea, a helicopter can usually lift them out. Or reinforcement or resupply when a unit is temporarily cut off by the enemy. Inside a tightening ring of enemy strength, ready with a few priceless weapons and courage. There's seldom a convenient airstrip, but a checkerboard move is still possible, up and over. To the Marines' historic courage has come even more stubborn confidence from this new kind of ground-air shuttle that can leap over enemy ambush and quickly redesign the battlefront. Another job is evacuating the wounded. From outpost to base, the word passes quickly. The exact spot, the number of injured, the equipment that's needed, the best route away from enemy fire. The division air officer gets all he needs to know. Then he acts. This procedure, calm, urgent, orderly, is the quick and thorough way the call for rescue reaches the operations officer. Each step, an important assurance that rescue will succeed. Because for any Marine, for pilots and corpsmen and plane crews, no assignment is more compelling than rescue. No target, nor advance, nor prize of war is served as earnestly as saving lives. It must be done accurately, on time, right. This is the way more and more American lives have been saved, by skilled Marine pilots and a new kind of aircraft that can move straight up and straight down. From the fringes of the battlefront, from rocky terrain, places no ambulance or truck could reach, from the gullies and peaks of Korea, men who needed more than first aid have been lifted out, carried to field hospitals by Marine helicopters that swing close to the hills and woods for cover from enemy fire. Wherever combat Marines fight, the helicopter is visible assurance that the best of hospital care is within quick reach. And helicopters are swift transportation, too, for men and gear headed to the front. For war is made of many things, and they travel far. From America, from a factory in Maine, a cannery in Indiana, an aircraft plant in California. They ride many vehicles reaching the front, but no ride is as important or as difficult as that last lap to meet the enemy. Whatever the climate, winter or summer, whatever the roads beneath, paved, rutted, or none at all, a helicopter takes men, guns, ammunition, food, water, and supplies over the miles and obstacles. Helicopters have taken over the slow, toilsome part of stringing wire for field telephones. The circuits that enable a Marine force to think and act as one and to move with coordination are spun out quickly over fields and woods. Marine wire layers use treetops for natural telephone poles high above the roads and traffic, saving the vital hours formerly spent burying wire or carrying it by hand or jeep through the brush. Helicopters lay more wire in an hour than men could formerly lay in a day. As observation posts, helicopters let Marine air observers take a second look. Their unique ability at hanging motionless in the air takes guesswork out of the scene below. Here, in the grim and deadly serious battle for the commanding hilltops of Korea, Marines put helicopters to work in a new kind of hit-and-run attack. This is a precision mixture of coordinated skill and nerve and rocket fire and the versatile helicopter. Way down front, helicopters move in quickly, putting down a rocket team, a rocket launcher in that order. The assignment, blasting a big hole in the enemy up ahead. The trick, getting out safely with men and gear before the enemy artillery can zero its fire on the spot from which the rockets came. The timetable of this kind of fighting is written in seconds, not minutes. Fuses for 24 rockets, 24 good, fiery, screaming, blasting reasons for the commies to head for home. Aim it well, Marine. These are the seconds that count most, getting out. A rocket launcher marks its spot with smoke. Once fired, it's a prime target for the enemy, and the enemy needs very little time, perhaps only a fraction of a minute. But it's the fraction these Marines use to pack up and vacate the premises, airborne and ready to go into business at a new location. Remember scenes like this? World War II. This might be Bougainville, Tarawa, Iwo Jima, immortal names that joined company with Montezuma, Tripoli, Marine names. If attacking from the sea was old as war itself, this kind of Marine amphibious assault upon the beaches was new. Tightly formed waves of small craft, behind them the hulking transports, the warships to pound the beaches. In World War II, this was the way the amphibious Marines joined in seizing the stepping stone islands of the Pacific. Since then, what has the Marine Corps added to its techniques of amphibious warfare? Watch this rehearsal of a helicopter-borne landing from carriers. Not at one point close to the enemy's defended beach, but at many widely separated points, 50 or more miles away. Aircraft carriers with helicopters, troops, guns, and supplies aboard practice a quiet approach. Preparations are swift. The first flight of helicopters is brought topside to the flight deck. Then the troops, according to plan, fire teams, squads, platoons. With all their hand-carried weapons, they board their assigned planes. It is an orderly maneuver, and it remains so all the way. One carrier's helicopter may rendezvous with those from many other ships to proceed in company to the designated landing area. Helicopter troops, too, may seize several areas simultaneously. This is what Marines call amphibious helicopter attack, a big military force from the sky, big enough to do a Marine-sized job, descending about its objective, intact, organized, equipped, in action the moment it touches the ground. Landing areas on the beachhead will be carefully selected, ordinarily not the defended shoreline. To be safe against this third dimension of attack, an enemy would have to dot his entire landscape with anti-aircraft emplacements, and to defend each gun successfully against the neutralizing bombardment. Some strategically desirable spots will not remain defended. Into these, behind the beaches, the attack can descend. Helicopters put their men and equipment on the beachhead in pattern. Organization is undisturbed. Minor casualties to men and gear are minimized. One after another, more organized waves of Marines descend. One helicopter may make half a dozen round trips from the carrier to the landing area. First the men and their personal weapons, then replenishing ammunition, heavier weapons, the assortment of gear the attack demands, carefully planned, carefully ordered, arriving in proper sequence on time. Helicopters shuttle back and forth with troops and supplies, medical gear, food, guns, all the requirements for victory. This, then, is amphibious helicopter attack, a new kind of marine warfare should America need it. Backdoor to the enemy's beach, a way to avoid dangerous concentrations and help put down a safe, wide welcome mat for greater forces to come. A new milestone in the Marine Corps' 177 years of fulfilling the mission assigned the Marines by Congress.